Tina Laws here, your host for today on The Relationship Theory. And in studio, we have our amazing guests, Mr. Timothy Sion and Ms. Shawnette Sumner. And today we're going to be talking a bit about the life of a single parent. So today I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Sion and just basically ask you to tell our viewers, who is Sion?
Who is Timothy Sion? I would say, honestly, I'm a bit quirky. I'm a bit of a introvert. I do like a good time. Mm-hmm. You know, if I feel comfortable enough around you to really expose myself and bare myself to an individuals for that matter. Mm-hmm. And I'm a loving, committed father.
Awesome, awesome. Do you wish to share? Father of?
Oh yes, father of 5. I have 4 daughters and 1 son.
4 daughters and 1 son. That's a lovely recipe.
Yes, it keeps me up often nights.
Yes.
It keeps me up because
I can relate.
The gaps that I have with my children, my oldest is 22 and my youngest is 13. So they're all in different stages. I have 2 in university, 1 in trade school, and 1 in high school and the other in middle school.
Wow.
So, you know, it's very unique and dynamic, dealing with the different personalities and the different stages.
And you have to stay current. You're always current, because with the different stages, you have to remain current, right? Because every day something new is evolving for our children, good, bad, and the other. So, Ms. Sumner, would you wish to share to our viewers, who is Shawnette?
I want to say, first of all, Timothy Sion's been a bit modest. He's my amazing co-worker, and one of the things I admire about him is the way he is able to balance work and family as a father. I'm impressed. So who am I? I am the mother of 2 sons, and my sons are 11 years apart in age. So yeah, one just turned 34 and the other one is 23. And they're very different in terms of personality. The oldest one I just refer to pretty much as a risk taker. He lives life on the edge, loves life. The younger one is a bit more reserved, laid back. The 2 of them have a really good relationship, especially now that the younger one is older. He is a man. And I'm also a grandmother, a nini, of my little 6-year-old grandson, who is the son of my elder son.
Yes, and he is so adorable.
Yeah, he is. And you know, there's a saying, I saw it on a poster many years ago, and it said, if I would have known that grandchildren were going to be this much fun, I would have had them first.
And that's so true.
Yeah.
I think I say the same thing. Yeah. But, you know, myself as a parent as well, and having the children's ages 31 and almost 25, it is, I mean, it's not a whole lot of years, 6 years in between, but it's such a great difference in their personalities and all the things in which that they do. And so, I'll say Timothy, we're so used to old colleagues, you see, so we're so used to using this last name term. So forgive me if you keep hearing us say surnames, but that's the norm for us. Timothy, what's one of the areas that you'll say as a parent you find or you have found over the years to be most challenging?
Open communication. Communication is key. With my children's mother, we have a lovely relationship. We co-parent. Awesome. I found that with the communication, although you may not agree to everything, you know, there's always room for improvement, and it's good for the children to also see open communication, because then they grow up seeing it, and then they would use that as a life skill themselves. So it's challenging, but it's also very rewarding.
Yes. You know, one of the things I find is you mentioned that having a great relationship with your children's mom, you know, that's rare, because we find nowadays and for centuries that, but you know, if the relationship ends, so does that relationship, and it becomes, the children become like a weapon between the 2. So it's very commendable to hear you mention that you have a great relationship with your children's mom. How would you answer that, Shanette?
Well, the challenge for me, one of the greatest challenges, is that I think most times when a parent becomes a single parent, it's usually the mother. And you kind of feel stuck with the children.
Yeah.
And then you go through these phases of being angry because you feel that the father has all the free time to do whatever he wants to do and to see the children whenever he wants to see them, as if, you know,
Yes.
they're temporary items. Unlike Timothy, I don't have a positive relationship with my son's fathers. I was married to each of their fathers, and so therefore each child is a product of the marriage. And I accept that the common denominator in both of those marriages is me. However, I've spent a number of years, I would say, healing through the hurt
Yes.
of what happened in those relationships, because, to be honest, when I look back on it, neither one of them were good people. And, you know, particularly with the second marriage, was extremely abusive. And so both of my sons witnessed some things which, you know, when my friends found out about it, they were like, oh my gosh, you know, if because I didn't tell anybody. So, you know, they were like, if this was any one of us, you would have come into our houses, packed our bags, and made us move.
Yes.
But I was going through, at that time,
Yeah.
you know, now we're going back some 20 years. Oh my gosh, if I get a second divorce, what will people think? You know, so fast
Yes,
forward
yes.
now, I really don't care what people think about me for anything. And I've had to work through that. It wasn't something that just happened. It's a work in progress. So, you know, and you can go through things so painful and so difficult and work through it and get past it. The little things that people think of you, it really
Doesn't
makes
matter.
no difference.
Yeah.
But for me, the greatest challenge for me was having to raise both of them on my own.
Yes.
And it cuts severely into everything. Your social life, you know, your finances. As I've told people, I've always had one paycheck to support three.
Yes.
And then when my oldest was off on his own, that one paycheck supports two.
Yes.
So let's not even talk about child support, because
that's a whole nother. That's a whole nother.
completely different show.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
But yeah, that would be the greatest challenge for me, and I'm at a point now where I want, you know, my life.
Yes.
And
yes.
now, of course, we're faced with COVID, and even that's hampered. So,
Well,
yeah.
listen, you know, that's been a challenge around the world, and to add on top of the single parenting, right? But we're gonna take a break, and we'll be right back. You don't want to miss it.
Relationship Theory. We'll be right back after these messages.
Crimson Multimedia is a full-service video production company. We can take your next project from concept to completion. We produce small one-camera setups to complex large-scale multi-camera productions. We offer editing, visual effects, and file transfers. We also broadcast and live stream both free and pay-per-view events. Visit our website, www.crimsonmultimedia.bm, for a quote or to contact us. Crimson Multimedia. Film, edit, broadcast, and stream your next event.
Everything is on the table. It's Relationship Theory with Tina Laws.
Welcome back to Relationship Theory. And before we went on break, we talked a bit about the challenges single parents find they have. And when we left off, we were talking to Shanette about the challenges that she has, and which were very not so, they were negative, I'll put it that way. And Timothy, he had a positive reaction to certain things. And so I just wanted to touch on that. I'll start back with Timothy. As it relates to your children, and you say that you have a really great communication with their mom, how do you find that your children manage that?
It was a bit difficult in the beginning because they were always used to seeing the parents together. So naturally, everyone had to go to the
Yes.
so to speak. When it comes to now, it's because they see the communication. Sometimes we agree on WhatsApp. I have daughters that are in university and stuff like that, and they may want to ask my opinion on something. So it's like nothing's changed now at this point, because they realize that mama and dad is not together. However, they know that they're still loved by both the parents, and that we're going to do what's necessary to afford them the best opportunities possible in life.
Absolutely. One of the things I want to ask you as well is, when you did separate from their mom, was there any children that went through a major challenge that was interrupting their day life, maybe in school, friends, or even at home? Did their behaviors change?